what's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Square Enix's E3 press conference for 2021. And yo, I know I'm probably might be the minority of this one, yo. I think Square won E3 this year. Like, yo, they didn't have as many games as Microsoft did, when they had to show 30 games. I think they showed maybe 20 here, but bro. What Square showed off was fucking amazing, man. Like, I know I'm probably a little bit biased here because a lot of it dealt with Final Fantasy and Marvel and shit. I know. But yo, I was hyped, especially when Guardians of the Galaxy looked amazing. Marvel's Avengers and the Black Panther expansion, that last Final Fantasy Origins game. You know what I'm saying? Like, Square came out swinging this year. There was no news of anything on Final Fantasy 16. No surprise there. But hey, let's just jump right in. So we started off the show. They started off hot with the Guardians of the Galaxy game, finally announcing it. The game looks absolutely amazing. I love what we saw from the gameplay. I like that this actually has a bit more of dialogue choices. You're going to be playing as Peter Quill, so it looks like we're just going to be playing as solely as Peter Quill, and kind of and it's going to be kind of a mixture of some RPG elements. You can it's like a Marvel game if it was Mass Effect, because you have the sci-fi elements with Guardians, but you also have it where you can actually have dialogue options for different events. I don't know how much they're going to mean in the grand scheme of things. Once the game actually comes out, they're really going to change the ending of the game you get, or it's all just kind of glorified window dressing. I don't know, but I think it's cool that they do give you dialogue options. So you have that, but you can also control your team members and order them around. Very Mass Effect I've noticed. Now, one thing I found kind of interesting is while they were showing off the game, they had this little developers interview, show some of the other team members working on them, and they talked about the game. They showed off this one dude, a dude by the name of Dan Abnett, who wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy comic back from 2008. Now, they didn't mention anything really why he was there, if he's co-writing the game script or anything. They just said they wrote the book. They never mentioned anything about if he's co-writing it or writing the story, or is he working? I'm assuming he's working together with the team, considering he was there. But they didn't mention anything if he was writing the game's plot or anything. They didn't mention anything of that sort, or maybe I just missed it. But yeah. Sounds kind of interesting, actually, if that is the case, and they are having a Guardians of the Galaxy comic writer actually writing down and helping write the story for the game. That's pretty cool. So you have that. The game itself looks really cool. I love the designs of the Guardians, where it looks like they kind of mixed and they kind of combined the looks of what they looked like back in the original comics and what they kind of look like in the films, and kind of mixed and matched them together to try and get to combine them two. And the designs we got were pretty cool. Star-Lord's I really liked. I liked Drax's look. I liked Rocket's look. Gamora looked cool. They all looked fucking great. Now, one thing I found kind of interesting. Now, I do not know. Now, for as far as I know, there hasn't been any word on the cast of the game, but I'm about 90% certain that Star-Lord is voiced by Matthew Mercer, because one, his voice sounds similar to Matt, but also because this is the one thing I noticed. His face model looks very similar to Matt's face. So that could be a coincidence. That could mean nothing, because they might just look like that, but I would bet money that Matthew Mercer is going to be voicing Star-Lord, which for you guys that don't know, Matthew Mercer is also the voice of Jotaro and Levi from Attack on Titan and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders. So he's one of my personal favorite WAs, if you ask me. So if he's voicing Star-Lord, you got my seal approval there. So the game looks great. Looks like it's going to be keeping on the same tone as the movies. Good shit. Looks fantastic. Can't wait to see more of the game. It's going to be coming out on October 21st, 26th, 2021, so it's going to be coming out later this year, and it looks great. I definitely can't wait to see more of this, and I'm definitely going to be picking this game up because it looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So they also announced, they show us some DLC characters, or not characters, some DLC suits, look like suits that look very reminiscent of what they looked back in the 08 comic, and some other costumes that looked really cool. I'm sure these are pre-order bonuses and maybe stuff from DLC that we'll be doing later on down the road. Either way, the game looks amazing, the costumes look really cool, and I'm definitely hyped to see more of this game. It looks great, can't wait to see more of it. So then they also announced that Final Fantasy 1 through 6 are all getting remasters for Steam and mobile. Now, The announcement itself, I'm hyped for. I'm glad to see that the first 6 Final Fantasy game, all the original, all the original, 2D Final Fantasy games are all getting HD remasters. They're all going to look better. They're all going to look amazing, and they're going to be coming so new generation of people who maybe jumped in the series from like Final Fantasy 15 or whatever can finally experience these games. I'm down for that. I love that Square has actually gotten out of the way and like put these all together in a collection, remastered them all. My problem is, why only Steam and fucking mobile of all things? Like, mobile? Like, why not put these on the PS4, or the PS5, or the Xbox? Now, granted, I have an iPhone SE, I have a gaming laptop, nothing's stopping me from playing these games, and I can run these games no problem. But still, why not put these on the PlayStation? Why not put these on Xbox? Like, let the console players who maybe played from Final Fantasy 15 and all that. You have Final Fantasy 7 through 9 already out on PS4. You already have like 10, 10-2, 12. All those games have already been ported. Why you chipping us with these games? Why are you chipping us with the first 6? Like I said, I got a gaming PC, I got a gaming laptop, I can play these games no problem. But why? Why not port these now? They could do it later on. Maybe later on they'll port them to consoles, but I find it strange they'll just port it to them now and just leave it for Steam and mobile of all things. Because considering all these games are already out on mobile too, so I don't know why they're holding out on us console players, but whatever. I like the announcement. I like that they're going to put these games together in all one collection, but still, y'all couldn't put this shit on consoles. But whatever. That's like one of my only problems I have with the show, is just that. Of course, then they showed up Marvel Avengers, some new DLC they're gonna be doing, and then of course they showed up the Black Panther expansion, which looked absolutely fucking amazing. I love the song they have playing in there, and from what we saw of the expansion, it looks great. I can't wait to see more of the expansion. It looks like it's gonna be fucking awesome, man. Wakanda forever. Anyway, next up they showed off some mobile games. Hitman, Sniper, The Shadows, cool. Nier Reincarnation, which bullshit, this game is running on a phone. I'm looking at these games' graphics. This looks like a goddamn 360 game. Bullshit, this is running on a smartphone. Bullshit, a smartphone can run this. If this is legitimate gameplay, and Square ain't pulling my leg, and the game will look like this if I play it on my iPhone SE, then bruh, smartphones have gotten a lot more powerful than I thought, because I'm looking at the screen I'm like, bullshit, this is running on a phone. Bullshit, that's running on like an iPhone 12 or whatever. Bullshit. But we'll have to wait and see when the game comes out. We haven't got any release date, they just said pre-register now. But hey, new Nier game coming for mobile, cool. They also announced some other stuff from the Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy game War of the Visions, which I actually download on my phone. If you guys like games like Final Fantasy Tactics, you'll like this game. It's the similar kind of thing with Fire Emblem and such. I played a little bit of it when Final Fantasy X had the crossover with it because it's Final Fantasy X. Managed to get Titus and Yuna, didn't manage to get my boy Aaron. But hey, so yeah, they're going to be having a crossover with the original Final Fantasy game, so y'all are into that game, there you go. They also announced this 5-year anniversary countdown campaign as well, beginning on June 7th, so cool. 17th, I should say, 17th. Babylon Follows up next, which is a new game from Platinum Games. We didn't really get much of a good look at the gameplay, but looks pretty cool. I'm definitely curious to see more of the game whenever we do, which maybe we'll see some at TGS. So then, and it was announced that's going to come for PS4, PS5, as well as Steam. So cool there. And there's also going to be a closed beta as well. Next up, they announced a Life is Strange remaster collection based on the first 2 games. They're going to be remastered with updated visuals and such. Coming out it's going to be coming out on September 30th this year, and I love the cover they have in this game. They also announced or showed off the new Life is Strange game as well. I believe it was called I'm slipping the name of the new game, but yeah, I thought they all had just announced these games. But I talked to my man Eli Moore, who is a huge Life is Strange fan. That game is like his shit, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew about this game for like 3 months now," and I'm like, 3 months? So yeah, apparently this game was already announced 3 months ago, but yeah. So yeah, new Life is Strange game is coming out, and you guys can get an HD remaster collection. So cool. I'm gonna play these games one day, just because my man Eli Moore loves these games so much. But yeah, so yeah, yo, Life is Strange fans, y'all are being good. So you got that. Then they announced the final thing they announced was this game from this new Square Enix game that's going to come from Team Ninja titled Final Fantasy. It's going to be called Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Yeah, you heard that right, ladies. Final Fantasy Origin. That is a very bold title there. Final Fantasy Origins. Now, what could that mean? I am no expert on Final Fantasy lore, so I'm not really going to speculate that much, but I don't know if this means it's going to be going over the lore of the Final Fantasy universe as a whole, going over the crystals and shit. I don't know. I know fuck all about Final Fantasy lore, so I'm not even really going to speculate that much on it. But besides that, the games look fucking cool. The graphics look really cool. The cast was actually really cool. The one thing I was most excited is the cast, because the main guy, the blonde-haired dude, and the pink-haired dude, both of them I recognize their voices from a different anime series. I don't know who they're voiced by, but I do recognize their voices. I think I remember them from JoJo, but I don't know. But the two voices I heard that got me the most excited is that there's this knight character called, I believe his name is like Soul or something, and he's legit voiced by Chris Sabat. Like, I can tell as soon as he started speaking, that was Chris Sabat's voice, which that is indeed Chris Sabat, not some dude that just sounds like him. Bro, we eating good, man. Chris Sabat, the man, the myth, the legend, Vegeta himself. I mean, come on now, you can't get better than Chris Sabat. And also, we heard this woman's voice that was I instantly recognized was Jeremy Lin. So that was also great too. Because you guys know me and how much I love Asuna. And I love Jeremy's work, man. She's one of my favorite VAs. So glad to see she's also be in the game as well. So. The voice cast got me. The voice cast got me also the most hyped up. Like, the game got me hyped up from the gameplay and how it looked, the title and everything. But the voice cast also got me excited because there's a lot of names in there I recognize. So that was also pretty cool. And yeah, man, that's basically where the show ended off. They showed off Final Fantasy Origins, and they also announced that there's also gonna be a demo coming soon, which I believe is already out now. I believe you can download right now for PS5. I'm not sure on that one, but yeah. And first off, the MC in this game is brutal as fuck. Like, this dude be like, get over here, and he's like turning his enemies into like crystals before he like just like stomps them out with like his foot. Fucking brutal as shit, man. It looks fucking amazing, man. And I also love the design for this knight that they were fighting that's voiced by Chris Sabat. So that was pretty cool. Which is actually kind of surprised because I haven't heard Chris Sabat voice in any other games that weren't Dragon Ball games. So I'm actually kind of surprised that he was in this project, because I don't think he does many video games outside of like Dragon Ball games, but cool. So we got Chris Sabat here too. Like I said before, that's fucking awesome, man. So yeah, hopefully they announce the rest of the cast pretty soon, just so I know who voiced those two characters, just so I know who they were. But yeah, man. So yeah, a lot of great stuff from Square Enix. They showed off the new Life is Strange game, the HD collection, new Final Fantasy game. New Final Fantasy game that looks amazing from Team Ninja. You got the first 6 games coming out in HD collection coming. Or remastered collection, excuse me, coming to Steam and mobile. The new Nier game, Guardians of the Galaxy looked absolutely fucking fantastic, man. Marvel's Avengers, the Black Panther expansion looked amazing. Loki, I know I'm biased with this one, but yo, I'm gonna say Square Enix won E3. I'm gonna say Square Enix won E3 and got the slight edge over Microsoft, in my personal opinion. Now, granted, we still got Nintendo, we still got a couple other people, so maybe someone else could take over, but I think Square's gonna end up winning this year for E3, at least for me, anyway. So yeah. Tell me down below, guys. What you guys saw of Square Enix press conference. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What games are you most excited for? Are you hyped for the new Life is Strange game? Are you hyped for Guardians of the Galaxy? Are you picking that up? Are you hyped for the Black Panther expansion? Are you hyped for Final Fantasy Origins? Leave that all down below in the comments, guys. And overall, I'm gonna give this show a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you like it. The links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time. She's too bad,